Moore's law remains intact as IBM rolls out with the world's first ever 7nm chip. While some scientists have successfully managed to connect the brains of 3 monkeys together, and we get some leaked 3D renders of the new upcoming Moto G 2015. And I think you are absolutely gonna love this new intro. Hey, what's up guys, you're watching Tech A.M here, and welcome back to another episode of Tech A.M Weekly. First of all, let's talk a bit about Samsung, since quite a lot of the hype in the smartphone market is mainly aimed at the next phone in the Note series, which will undoubtedly be the Galaxy Note 5. As suggested by some leaks, the next Galaxy phablet resembles the flagship Galaxy S6, at least in the design department. A tweet from @OnLeaks pointed towards the Galaxy Note 5 design, which has a flat display, however with a slight curve towards the edges at the back. Also, some people are speculating that the Korean tech giant has plans to launch the next Note before IFA. Some rumours suggest that this could be due to the fact that Samsung needs to catch up against other competitors like Apple and even some Chinese companies like Xiaomi and Huawei, and to do this they really need a big boost in business. Now let's move on to Motorola, as it seems like we might be starting to get our first glimpses on the new upcoming Moto G 2015. Due to some leaked 3D renders of the alleged phone. Thanks to this website called Nowhere Else, we may now have a much better understanding about the specs this new smartphone is going to boast. The site seems to be claiming that the successor to the Moto G 2nd Gen will have un écran de 5 de diagonal pour une résolution de 1280 by 720, processor Qualcomm Snapdragon 8 S410. I think that's a typo. It should be 410 clocked at 1.4 GHz, backed by 1 GB of RAM. As for the cameras, the front shooter might bring 5 megapixels, while the back camera will apparently be quite an impressive 13 megapixels. And just for you microSD card fans out there, there's also going to be a microSD card slot just for you. Let's switch gears to something really interesting about monkeys. You may have heard the saying that goes, 2 heads are better than 1, but scientists are taking that one step further by saying 3 heads are better than 1, and they've even proved it. Scientists have successfully managed to connect the brains of 3 monkeys together at Duke University, which is interesting. They conducted a test on this thing by tasking them to manipulate a 3-dimensional virtual arm on the screen, and what the scientists discovered was that they were able to manipulate the arm with all the brains linked together, while on the other hand, while they were just on their own, they couldn't manipulate the arm for some reason. So that's interesting. Anyway, let's move on to something which will absolutely fill all you computer geeks with excitement. IBM has just recently launched the world's first ever 7nm process chip. This has literally blown Intel's 14nm chip out of the water, since it took Intel years to get from 22nm to 14nm. The new chip should be much more power efficient, smaller, and therefore cheaper, and should hit less on your battery as well. But now the problem is, how will they get to the 5nm milestone? It would be groundbreaking if they do, and by if they do, I mean when they do. So far, Moore's law is staying intact, but through the next few years, who knows? And finally, let's focus on Apple and Google, since both companies rolled out with an update for their respective OSs on Thursday. On one hand, the next build of the Android M developer preview came out, which brings some platform changes such as device connections through USB ports are now set to charge-only mode by default, meaning you'll need to grant permission to access the device, and it also brings some minor API fixes and some other bug fixes as well. On the other hand, Apple has made the public beta for iOS 9 and OS X El Capitan available for the public, which also pretty much brings some bug fixes. If you want to install the iOS 9 beta yourself, you will first have to enroll your iOS device and then download the iOS 9 profile from this link right here, and then head into settings, general, software update, and you get the idea. So far I've encountered no problems with the iOS 9 public beta, but for some reason I can't upgrade my Nexus 9 to the next version of the developer preview. Every time I try to install it, the tablet restarts and enters recovery mode, TWRP in my case. I don't know if that's supposed to happen, but I'll try again later. So there you have it guys, that's going to wrap up this episode of Tech A.M Weekly. Be sure to smash that like button down below if you enjoyed, and also feel free to leave a comment saying anything that I may have or may not have mentioned in this video. And also be sure to subscribe to this channel as well for more tech videos like this. I'm going to talk to you guys in my next one. Thanks for watching.